You're out hunting with your tribe, just another ordinary day. Then, in a single moment, everything changes. Your foot slips, you lose your balance, and you fall hard. Then you hear a sound that instantly fills you with dread. A crack, your leg is broken. Today you'd call an ambulance. Doctors would take x-rays. You'd get treatment. You'd probably recover. But 50,000 years ago, there were no hospitals, no doctors, no painkillers, no surgery, no casts, nothing. Out here, a broken bone wasn't just painful, it could be a death sentence. You couldn't hunt, you couldn't run, you couldn't keep up with your tribe. And in a world filled with predators, weakness was dangerous. So what happened when an ancient human broke a bone? And more importantly, how did some of them survive? A broken bone wasn't just painful, it could mean starvation, it could mean being left behind. It could mean becoming an easy target for predators. Out in the wilderness, there was very little mercy. Every day was a fight to survive, and one injury could change everything. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. For a long time, scientists assumed that a serious injury in the prehistoric world was basically a death sentence. After all, imagine trying to survive with a broken leg. You can't hunt, you can't run from danger, you can't keep up with your tribe. Every day becomes a struggle just to stay alive. Yet when archaeologists began studying ancient human skeletons, they found something remarkable. Some of those skeletons had broken bones that had completely healed. Not small fractures, not minor injuries. Severe breaks that would have left a person unable to walk for weeks or even months. And somehow, those individuals survived. In some cases, they didn't just survive for a few days. They lived for years afterward. Think about what that means. A person with a badly broken leg couldn't simply go out and hunt the next morning. They couldn't chase animals across open plains. They couldn't carry heavy supplies. They couldn't defend themselves very well against predators. Alone, their chances of survival would have been incredibly small, and yet, the evidence is right there in the bones. They healed, they recovered, they lived on. Which raises a fascinating question. If there were no hospitals, no doctors, no surgery, and no modern medicine, then how did these injured people survive long enough for their bones to heal? The answer reveals one of the greatest secrets behind humanity's success, and it had nothing to do with strength. The answer wasn't medicine, it was people, family, friends, community. When someone was injured, they didn't survive because of a miracle. They survived because others stepped in to help. Someone gathered food when they couldn't hunt. Someone brought water when they couldn't travel. Someone kept watch through the night while predators roamed in the darkness. Someone helped them move when every step was painful. Someone made sure they weren't left behind. In a world with no hospitals, no doctors, and no modern medicine, human care became the treatment. A broken bone could take weeks or even months to heal. No one could survive that long alone. Without help, survival was unlikely, but together the odds changed. And that's what makes these ancient discoveries so remarkable. A healed bone isn't just evidence of recovery, it's evidence of compassion. It's evidence that people were willing to care for one another, even when survival was already difficult. Long before cities, long before civilization, and long before modern medicine, humans had already discovered something far more powerful. They had discovered the strength of working together. Ancient humans weren't doctors, but they weren't helpless. Over time, they learned from experience. They watched what worked. They remembered what didn't. And they passed that knowledge down from one generation to the next. Simple splints may have been used to support broken bones and keep injured limbs stable. Rest became essential. Healing took time, sometimes weeks, sometimes even months. And during that time, nature did much of the healing. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it reveals something remarkable about our ancestors. even when survival was difficult, even during harsh winters, even when food was scarce and danger was everywhere. People cared for one another. They shared food. They shared protection. They shared responsibility, because helping an injured person wasn't just an act of kindness. It helped the entire tribe survive. And that's what makes these ancient discoveries so extraordinary. A healed bone isn't just evidence of recovery, it's evidence of cooperation. And cooperation may have been one of humanity's greatest survival advantages. So what happened if an ancient human broke a bone? Sometimes they died, but many survived. Not because they had hospitals, not because they had medicine, but because they had each other. A healed bone is more than an injury. It's evidence of compassion, evidence of cooperation, evidence that humans survive together, and that may have been our greatest survival skill of all. If you enjoyed this journey into the ancient world, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell for more stories about how our ancestors survived against impossible odds.